The following is a paid program sponsored by Get Elevated. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you hear do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.
Please note that while we will cover a multitude of topics, including many alleged health benefits, all information provided should be considered anecdotal and informational. Please consult with your physician before adding cannabis to your medical regimen. Cannabis is for adults 21 years of age and older. Also, paid sponsorships are not to be misconstrued as preferred or favored by the host. In any way, they are merely that, paid sponsorships. Good morning and happy Saturday. Welcome to another edition of Get Elevated with Gia. I'm here in the studio live on this beautiful Saturday morning with Derek Guzman from Planet 13 and many things. Morning, Derek.
Good morning, Gia. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for being here. Anyway, so for those of you joining us for this amazing show, Get Elevated with Gia, we are talking about cannabis. We are talking about truth and clarity and all topics. And this one is vibing with Las Vegas, Derek Guzman, because I think from time to time we get a little too stuck in the science. Our show, I know, Derek, you've been following it. We've covered a lot of clinical stuff. We've had physicians on here. We've had cannabinoid specialists. We've had like extraction experts. And then we're kind of going through this phase right now where we're just having more fun. We've had some great media experts on some cool things that are coming with cannabis. So these next couple episodes, as well as the last couple with Peter Cannabis, are about fun and vibing with cool people. And ever since I met you, which you know is kind of that funny story at Nuwu.
Yeah.
But I've always thought like you're someone I want to work with, and we kind of do that a little bit, obviously, in the industry. But like now we get to vibe. So thanks for coming to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, I feel like.
Yeah. So anyway, so for those of you joining us for the first time, thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. I promise not to disappoint. And those returning, thank you so much, because this show is nothing without you. I mean, it'd just be me and Derek talking with Ray, the Magic Man. What's up, Ray? Was I okay? He saluted in kind. Okay, let's start with you. I didn't ask for a written bio. Tell us about you, first of all, Derek. What's your story?
Sure. Well, yeah, it's been quite a ride. So my story, for those of you who don't know me, I'm from New York. I go by Gumen or Gumen.
I added a Z.
It's been my whole life.
Wait a minute, Derek. I just been adding a Z to your name.
Yeah, it's fine.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
But it's always been Gumen or Gumen my entire life. Even my family.
Until now it's Guzman.
Yeah, now it's Guzman.
I love that.
A little bit more Spanish now. There is a little Spanish blood in me, so it works. So I'm from New York. I moved out to Las Vegas in 2014. Initially, when I moved out here, I really didn't have much in the way of a job or anything like that. I had an opportunity. It was outside of cannabis. It was in
that was a big risk.
Huge
you
risk.
Just had opportunity.
Huge
and that's
risk.
A long way to go.
Yeah.
Why Las Vegas?
I had been in wines and spirits for years in New York City, and then I eventually had my company open up shop in California. We opened that market as well. So they sent me out there to kind of do be the wholesaler, the sales director for the company, and it was a big opportunity for me.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of your viewers or listeners who don't know wine too much, California is a beast of a market, and so going from New York, where I had 125 accounts, which was huge, and it was doing great. Yeah, it was a lot to handle. I then moved into California, and things went quite well for a while. So it was really good for a while, but eventually it kind of plateaued for me, and my company couldn't support us more than they were already doing, and we needed it. So I came to a point where I was like, I can stay, I can go back to New York and get a great role there, job security, pay bump, all the good stuff. But the quality of life I realized in the West was for me.
Totally. I'm with you.
Yeah, I was not about the hustle and bustle of the subways in New York City anymore, the traffic, the mean people on the roads. It's just wasn't for me anymore.
I get it.
Yeah.
The sunshine is not, it's not overrated. It's amazing.
It's
Coming from Chicago myself,
so
I'm not going back.
Yeah, no.
This is sunshine 90% of the time.
Yeah. It's great. So I had a friend in poker. His name's Jason Somerville.
Should I know the name?
No, probably not. But he's young and he's quite well known within that community and in the Twitch community. It was an opportunity to come out to Vegas. He was like, "Listen, I'm starting my own YouTube show. I'm hosting quarterly events now." He had a brand called Run It Up.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it was a
What
great.
is the brand?
It's a poker brand. So it was essentially the name of his YouTube show, where he took $50 of money and ran it all the way up. Now he's a millionaire
From the 50?
from 50 like 10 years ago, or maybe longer now.
Is he single?
He's gay, so
Hey.
maybe not your type, but he's actually the first professional poker player to ever come out of the closet. So that was huge for him. He did it on
awesome.
Perez Hilton's website. Was the first one. He was the first one to break it.
That is so awesome.
Yeah,
Bravo.
and he, someone I grew up with. We've known each other since we were in diapers. Our parents knew each other from college. So it was an easy decision for me when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come out and help you, bro.
Oh, I love
so
that.
he put me up at the Panorama. Broski. And we are. He's not like he's very manly, let's just say.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I was like, dude, I'm out. I'm coming. Like, I'm doing this with you. So we came out. Well, he was already out here. We came out. I didn't come out.
Wait a minute.
I'm single and take it.
I saw this coming. I saw this unfolding. This is not going well.
No.
That whole conversation is awesome.
Happily taken and straight, but yes.
Not that there's anything
wrong with that. We all like what we like.
No, it's just your words were hilarious.
I know, yeah.
And I could see it building up. I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yada, yada, yada. It went great with him. And
now we're just quoting Seinfeld.
Yeah, right. One of my favorite shows.
Mine too.
So, yeah.
I have ADHD today, but I love that about myself right now.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it went really well for a while, and he had a couple guys that were managing him. So he had one manager and then a marketing manager, John and Dustin, good buddies of mine. And so I was helping Jason with a lot of odds and ends and all sorts of different things. I was helping him produce day-to-day stuff, social media, upkeep with the brand.
Like
I was
jack of all trades.
Yeah, essentially, right? So I was his utility man. So it got to a point where his lifestyle was kind of taking him all over the place. He had to move to Canada to do his Twitch. He started streaming on Twitch. We opened the poker channel on Twitch, which was something huge.
Wait a minute. How come are we spending so much time on this guy? Where is this? How did this affect you?
It's about to.
Oh, it's like a long journey there, man. I got
so
you.
It was like my first 2 years of Vegas, and so
Wow.
eventually this guy had to just blossom in his own way, and his manager and his marketing manager were kind of left, not having much to do. So they had to go out and start their own marketing firm, and they did. And after about 6 months, they realized that, man, we really like Derek. He's an asset. Let's see if we can bring him on our team.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to my buddy Jason. He was fine with it, and so I joined their marketing team. So I started doing, different odd jobs, like doing social media for Poker Night in America. Then I started doing a reality show, really raw, for a company in town called Go Hunt.
Okay.
It's a hunting company. They have a software platform, e-commerce. Great group of guys. The Sartini family owns it, so they're a big family here in Nevada. So that went really well. I got to do some incredibly amazing things with those guys, and we had about maybe 5 or 6 strong accounts, FanDuel, DraftKings, some really fun stuff, Sugar House Casino on the East Coast. So we eventually got to a point where we were doing all these different gaming and I would say male-oriented marketing that one of our buddies had come to us named Ryan Breeden, who you may know. Yeah.
I know Ryan.
You know Ryan. So
shout out to Ryan.
So John and Dustin had basically came to the conclusion that we were kind of in a place where we couldn't move into cannabis because of all the gaming clients we had. And Ryan is a good friend of John's. And so Ryan was like, well, Johnny, I would love for you guys to do our marketing. Like, what can you do?
Let's do it.
You want to do the Ryan Breeden voice?
Well, I mean, like you lead.
I'm pretty good at it.
Here, you kind of like danced around it. Like, bro, bring it in.
Hey, Johnny, you guys think you can do some marketing for us? Like, you guys take some pictures, And they came to me and they're like, Derek, you think you can shoot photos of weed? So I go, yeah, let's do it. So we created, in light of this, we had to go and create our own marketing firm for cannabis.
Sure. Oh, wow.
So we created a company called...
Are you a photographer, though, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of your skills.
Yeah. So we started a company called Artisans on Fire.
Ooh.
And it was Nevada's first cannabis creative agency.
Okay.
So we took on Deep Roots as our first client. which then led to Thrive Cannabis Marketplace
Nice.
and Green and Gold Supply Co.
Okay, nice.
And VVG and Chiba Chews
Okay.
and BAM. We were doing packaging for
Okay.
BAM, and then what was the other ones that we were doing? City Trees.
Nice.
The name City Trees came from this brain right here.
No way.
Yeah, that was a crazy time. So we started out, with one client, and it exploded. Because of I was doing the social, we were doing brand development, we were doing, creating new product lines, packaging.
Right.
We were literally anything you can think of. We were covering.
Gia will be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Can, the world's first microdose THC beverage, is now available in dispensaries all over Nevada. Out of all drinks in 2019, cannabis or not, BevNet recognized Can as the best new beverage. It's only 30 to 35 calories per serving and comes in 3 delicious and award-winning flavors: lemon lavender, blood orange cardamom, and grapefruit rosemary. More information and where to buy your 6-pack of Can is available at our website, drinkcan.com. That's with 2 N's, drinkcan.com.
Prior to this whole biographical dissertation that you're giving, which I love, what I didn't understand and didn't ask clearly, what was your first weed experience? What brought you to cannabis, personally? We're going through the story, but did you smoke when you were young?
Oh yeah.
So okay.
Maybe 16, 17 is when I started.
So
Not super young.
You got into cannabis. There was no getting into cannabis. You were already just part of this plant's journey.
If you want to call it that, I mean, it's like anything else. I was in wine for quite some time, and so I didn't drink a lot of wine before that. I did, but I grew to understand, wine and weed, and I studied it myself in my spare time. I took the time to educate myself on it.
Where I was going with that was you didn't have somebody die and they live longer with cannabis.
No.
A lot of people have I find there's buckets of stories how people get there. It's like yourself, cannabis has been part of your life since your teens, and then you've had up and down difference. And then people that have come in from medical, whether watching someone witness something or themselves, I never slept and then I took an edible. And then there's people like myself who just, quite frankly, later in life, I stumbled upon it and then dove into it.
It's kind of how what happened with me.
Yeah, so I just kind of see it. So I
I fell into it
early on and just never left.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Sorry
and
about that.
no, yeah.
Detour.
So yeah, I mean that was really how I got my foot in the door, and then I
So now we're back to your story where you were going to take photographs.
Yeah, so we were
Deep Roots, you had all the customers.
Shooting all the customers, doing great. I got signed with Dope Magazine to be a writer photographer for them. So I was with them until they went under here in Nevada, unfortunately.
Okay. What did you write about?
Oh, I did reviews for not only products. I did cultivation profiles, essentially. I did spotlights on individuals. I did political and environmental pieces.
So it wasn't all cannabis related, or
it was
the vein of cannabis.
Yes,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there was a lot. I was able to go and see almost. I've seen more cultivations than people will in a lifetime.
As a result of that, I have a question: do you have more accents?
More accents
that you can do?
Yeah, probably. If you've got some people.
Do you have any in your bag where you're like?
I mean, Ryan Breeden's a good one because he's easy.
Yeah.
And he's fun. He's my friend, so I can do that.
We got to think about people.
Yeah.
Maybe, even if there's can you do Denzel? I'm open to any throughout this journey here.
Any kind of Italian, I'm pretty good at. It's the New York side out of me. We could pull off something like that.
I'm just curious. I just wanted to know. You're a jack of all trades, so this is obviously one more.
Yeah, voice actor, sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, I mean, that was really it. And then, eventually, for me, I wanted to make more money in the industry. Being in a creative space in cannabis is never easy, unless you're at the top of what you do, and you can charge top dollar. Otherwise, you're really fighting for business, and so you have to a lot of times take what you can get from people and work your way into getting that big pay. So, it got to a point where we needed to scale, and I just wasn't seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and I had a great offer from VVG was one of our clients at the time.
What's the VVG?
They did the Vegas and Reno M sticks. Hash oil pens.
Those M sticks. I have heard you talk about those more in the past week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they laid the foundation for me to kind of go out on my own and build their company.
Okay.
Which I did, and it went really, really well.
Yep.
I was doing all their marketing and their sales, and then I kind of found myself getting offered a job by Planet 13 last year.
Hold on a second. I would like to say one thing. Vibin with you is fun.
Yeah.
And this is the first show that I haven't had structured topics and flow, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Are you having fun,
I'm
Derek?
having a great time.
I'm
Yeah.
just checking in.
Yeah.
Just checking in.
Yeah. No, we're good.
We're still
yeah.
on the bio. I'm checking in, man. No, but it's fun. And like, this is our goal is to actually get to an hour show where we can really chop it up and do more. So you'll come back next week. We'll play it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, so sorry. I just wanted to acknowledge that the vibing with you is fun.
No,
and
it's
that
very
you're
good.
having fun. Okay, no, but you don't just happen to get a job at Planet 13. I like how you
I
try to
jumped
slid
over.
that in.
Well,
Yeah,
listen,
fast forward. Yeah, let's
Listen,
rewind.
breakups are never easy, right?
Agreed.
So, for me, they did a lot for me, a lot. And they were able
Femstick people.
Yeah, they were able to put me in a position to, pay off my debt,
Nice.
and save money. And now I've got, runway.
A million.
I wish. Runway for a future, whether it's a home or just anything. I don't have to worry about bills anymore. It's so nice. And
wow.
so it did change my life.
Shout to that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but money isn't always everything. And there was,
but it's a big piece.
It's a big piece.
Let's be clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of times, they say money doesn't buy happiness, but
No.
it certainly can. It certainly can.
It certainly helps.
Certainly,
yeah.
yeah. So, it got to, again, it was kind of a breaking point where I just didn't see like a huge upside for me long term. There was a lot of internal stuff that just didn't vibe with me.
I get it.
So
and you're all about the vibe.
I
Clearly.
am. I really am. I gotta like what I'm doing, be happy what I'm doing. That's
I agree
happiness matters a real lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some people in the industry that I expressed that to, and my coworkers, David Farris and Brandon Garcia, and I had told
I love you guys, like the three musketeers over there.
Yeah, they were already my friends, and Brandon caught wind first and was like, "Oh, dude, we got a great opportunity coming up. We're opening up a wholesale."
Who worked there first?
David,
and then
Brandon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were they friends prior to?
Yeah. They worked at Medicine
so-
together, and so they've been they've been in there a long time, and so yeah, it was just perfect timing. I was kind of looking for other opportunities at the time, regardless. It wasn't just Planet.
Sure.
And Brandon caught wind, said, "Hey, we're opening up a wholesale division in like 2 months." This was like in December of 2019.
That's right, because it hasn't been that long.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I didn't even question it.
Wait, 2000 when?
December 2019.
Yeah, 19. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I like to reference my life as far as pre-Rona.
Pre-Rona.
And
Yeah, this
then-
was pre-Rona.
Pre-Rona. And
But there was probably Rona in the air, but we didn't know about it yet. So, we can call it what you want to call it.
pre-Rona and then pre-Rona and then Rona.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
got
it was during that time. I signed with the company as soon as they offered me the job, basically. So at January 1, I was had given my verbal resignation with VBG, and by the second week of January, I was signing on with Planet 13.
Nice.
So
Congrats.
I've been with them ever since, and head of their wholesale division. I'm a director of wholesale over there. So basically, I handle like what do you do? I handle all their in-house brands, Trendy, Haha Gummies, Dreamland Chocolates, Planet M. I was actually looking at our quarterly gains, and like from our quarter one, which was abysmal, right? Last year,
course.
yeah, it was like 60K. And granted, we didn't have any accounts yet. We had nothing. We grew 200 and something % our next quarter, and our third quarter we grew another 200%. So there was almost 500% growth from quarter one to quarter three.
Well,
and then,
well done.
Yeah,
Especially with the pre and post pandemic lockdown.
Yeah, and so now we're at a place. We got our quarterly numbers in, and we did our first $1 million quarter in 2021.
Wow,
and
very nice.
Over 50 accounts, about 55 accounts now in the whole state, which is.
Do you love it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, it makes me just happy to know that like I'm doing a job that a lot of people think they can do, but it's really not that simple,
I get
and
that.
it's not easy. And I have a great team.
Yeah.
Luckily, that I have behind me in Planet 13, and everybody that's a part of those, different groups. We have our marketing team, our finance team, our accounting team. So we all work as one. So it's been awesome. And now I've kind of been just getting my hands dirty, with product development and figuring out what's going to be the next big thing in the Nevada market and then beyond.
Tell me more about that. How does one understand that, and what do you think? What's coming? What's big?
Well, I mean, there's so many things coming, and so for example, we're starting to now see what California and Colorado saw, a year, 2, 3 years ago, which is the rosin market is now hitting Nevada, and so we're seeing new rosin producers, GLP, Virtue, some other companies that are doing it, Roar, and so that's exciting. People are just kind of getting over the hump of like the education side. And so now it's time for us to start just getting new products in people's hands that they've never seen before, because it's hard to get people to understand terpenes, get them to understand the THC variations and what CBD and CBG and CBN are and all that other stuff, right? And how a strain can really affect and how you're going to feel. So now that we've gotten, a few years under our belt in Nevada, we're seeing more stuff like the rosin.
Beverages are really picking up now.
That's what I was about to touch on next. Yeah. So we do the HaHa sparkling waters at Planet 13, and we're going to be launching a soda line within the next 30 days or so. 10 and 25 milligram soda line.
Okay.
It's been a while since there's been any soda on the market. We'll be releasing 5, I believe.
Okay.
Now for a quick word from our sponsors. From the chief lobbyist of Matos Consulting, Jay is spearheading a new bill for consumption lounges. Jay is passionate about alternative places to consume cannabis so our city and the Strip can remain family-friendly.
So you talked about terpenes. That was in part of your notes. What do you have a particular affinity for?
Well, I think
terp profiles
for me, and just to like kind of circle back on kind of what I was talking about before with like development in a lot of these brands back when I was with Artisans on Fire, and a lot of people wanted to figure out a way to make like wine, like weed like wine, as they would say, or like they wanted to be the Whole Foods of weed and all these things, right? And a lot of that stuff's very cookie cutter. And I said, well, we have to educate people too, besides, just give them a fancy package and a good name and a look. I'm like, we have to start gravitating how these products are going to affect you. And then so by understanding that, then you can market it better.
Sure.
So for me, I dove into terpenes, and I have ever since. I think that's like the foundation of cannabis, and like why they smell a certain way, why they taste a certain way, why they have different variations of effects. Even so, they might even be the same strain, but different producers.
Absolutely.
So you look at the test results, and then you can really figure out how it's going to affect you if you know the science behind it.
Let me ask you, how might you curate stuff for yourself? Like, how do you approach that for your own personal consumption?
Yeah, for me, so like, I'll give you a perfect example. I can give you like my daily routine.
Please.
Yeah. I get up in the morning, water my plants, have my coffee, and I usually smoke a sativa.
What kind of coffee? Let's get the whole thing. What are we drinking?
Oh, I don't know. French roast, whatever. Colombian, French roast. Okay. Yeah, just, big old mug.
Keurig?
Nope, French press.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
See, this is why we ask the questions.
Yep.
French press guy.
You creamer.
Take the time.
Oh, yeah. And, I go into my kitchen. Sometimes I feed the animals, and while I'm doing that.
What animals do we have?
A couple cats and a dog.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'll throw food in their bowl, and then I'll in the interim, I'm doing the coffee.
Yeah.
Then I go and I take a shower.
Got it.
And then I come out.
Got it.
It's ready to go.
Right.
And that's when I pack my bowl. It's usually like a
So it's a bowl in the morning.
It's usually always a bowl. I'm a big glass pipe guy.
I do. I love that.
I'm old
too.
school. I don't like paper.
Is that old school? I guess it would be. I like it.
Yeah.
And you don't really need that much weed.
No.
A little sprinkle.
And I'm not like a huge pothead to where like I need a blunt to knock me out, right?
But hey,
I still smoke them.
On this show, we do not judge if you need a blunt to wake up.
Yeah. I get that. But
100%.
for me,
I got you.
It will make me less productive if I smoke one of those to start the day. That's an end of the day move for me. We'll get to that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're still at 6 a.m.
Yeah. No, 6 a.m.
7?
Yeah. I'm usually up 6:45, 7. Yeah, okay. But 8:30 is my like between 8:30 is when I'm out in the backyard. So it's like usually like a super lemon haze or something along those lines.
I like that.
Very
choice.
Creative. Very
and
energizing.
Terps, for those listening, the terps that will get you going in the morning.
Pinene usually is.
Are you a big pinene guy?
Yeah, I like uppers. I like terpinolene, pinene,
I love terpinolene.
limonene. Yeah,
I love asamine.
Asamine as well.
Love
yep.
It. For people that just like smoke all day or want to get high all day, and I as I worked a number of pop-ups and in the shops, you hear people saying that. It's like, well, but you don't want the same type of high at 9 in the morning as you do at 3 in the afternoon, perhaps even at 9 p.m. So like you really do have to curate your experience.
Oh yeah, plan accordingly. You just have to know what you're getting into, and that's what I tell a lot of first timers or people who don't smoke much. I'm like, hey, just make sure you smoke the right strain, because if you're worried about getting knocked out in the middle of the day, you might just in case. A
friend of mine told me that. They smoke Tropicana and it knocked them out. I'm like, because the myrcene's like 30%.
It's high. Yeah, that's like a
and some of these things are mislabeled, so you can't even go by indica sativa hybrid.
No, I go by the strain.
Yeah,
I go by the strain, and if they have lab tests on there, the top 3 terpenes, that's all I go by these days. And even THC doesn't really matter to me so much anymore. It's
Yeah.
really the terp profile.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'll start with that. Midday or late afternoon. Doesn't really matter. I won't go like heavy indica, but I'll go sativa, hybrid,
But you said afternoon, yeah.
Yeah, after 3
I
p.m.,
got it.
something like, I don't like to, during my work day, I really like to try and
I
stay focused.
understand.
It gets a little foggy sometimes,
Foggy, that's a
and
good way to put it.
yeah, so try to stay on the ball. And then, by the time I get home, it really depends what I'm doing. If I'm just relaxing, yeah, it's going to be indica dominant,
But
a
you're a
kush.
bowl most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and I got a little rig at home.
Oh, I can't
Not
mess
like
with that.
not the torch. No, but it's easy.
I get it. Favorite strains. Shoot me some favorite
So
strains.
I mentioned one, any kind of lemon haze, super lemon haze. I love Mac. So yeah, any kind of haze for me. Like I said, the Mac, Ghost Train. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Agent Orange. We don't see
I
that too
haven't
much
had-
out here anymore. Anything Chem,
Okay.
like Chem 91 or Chem
Okay.
Dog.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that type of stuff. For me, I'll really smoke. I'll try anything, right?
Okay.
Any garlic cookies
Okay.
I'm on right
Okay.
now.
I like that.
Yeah, Miss X, Purple Cough, Strawberry
Nice,
Cough.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are
cool.
like my go-tos.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap episode 1 because, because it's time.
Yeah.
And that's usually how it works.
Sure.
So, what is the one thing that you want to conclude this episode, this portion of just vibing with you? What do you want people to know right now?
Yeah, well, I would say this. I kind of gave you a pretty deep dive into my background, and I a lot of times when I go on these podcasts, everyone wants to know, how'd you get here?
Yeah, how'd you get into cannabis?
Because
How'd you get it?
I'm not some big dealer from the West Coast that was
Right.
out here, a black market in Las Vegas. None of that. Like,
Right.
I sold a little weed in college.
Yeah.
No big deal,
Again,
right?
Somebody's gonna repel right in
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, I think my message to people who are listening is like, if you've got interest in this industry, it's still in its infancy. There is plenty of time, no matter what state you're in.
Yeah.
Some states might be more difficult now than others to break into.
Yeah.
Especially, on a base level, employee level, you can get a job bud tending anywhere in any state right now.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to start up a cannabis business anywhere, or a brand, or even an ancillary company that does packaging or distribution,
Sure.
there's so much opportunity right now. And if you are in another industry and you've got passion and you want to get into cannabis, I really recommend going out and finding the opportunity, whether you're in a medical or in a recreational state, because when I got into cannabis, it wasn't rec yet. It was still maybe 5-6 months before we even voted.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, like Deep Roots, for example, we started with them, and they still had medical products on and barely built out. I photographed their first harvest.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh, I love that. I think also what I'm hearing, and that was a great summary I kind of anticipated, because it's nice hearing your story for the first time, but that people also have to be willing to maybe take a few steps back, and like things are not perfect here.
Yeah.
On this side, like when you're in the business of it,
nothing's
all
perfect.
It looks all kind of
it's gonna be so much fun.
It is, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that's not buttoned up. So patience, and also be willing to take a few steps back to go.
Yeah,
steps forward
and
with
just be willing to learn.
Totally.
Be willing to learn. Be
Yeah.
willing to take
and
a
teach
risk.
yourself. Be curious. Be curious about everything.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just I tell people, if you want to get into this and you've got some money, don't be afraid to spend it, because you gotta spend money to make money in this industry. You really
Can you
do.
say that Italian like for me?
You got to spend money to make money.
That's what
all
I'm
right?
saying.
Yeah.
That was real easy for you. I love that. Okay, so if people want to learn more about you and more of your delicious career advice,
Sure.
where can they find you, Derek?
I'm on Instagram at Derek Las Vegas, DEREK Las Vegas.
Are you following me? Am I following you?
I think. Are we? We'll double check on that.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this has been so fun. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to return because there's still more about your contribution to cannabis and your passion around that. So we're going to wrap. For those of you listening, thank you so much for being here. As always, I like to say, welcome to the future of cannabis. My name is Gia. I'll be your tour guide.
You have been listening to a paid program sponsored by Get Elevated. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you heard do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.